I was supposed to go to San Diego and see a friend of mine on Monday, and the meeting I was going down for got canceled at the last minute, and so I didn't go. And 4 days later, my friend passed away. Now, it wasn't a major surprise because he was 90 years old, but still, it kind of brought to the forefront that you just never know. You never know when's going to be the last time you have to talk to somebody. And walking into the office, I was listening to This American Life. It used to be a favorite podcast of mine, and now it's not so much because all the topics are depressing. I mean, it could be this depressing life. But the topic of today, or the day I was listening to, was about people who have just a last chance to talk to somebody. And one example they gave were people who are working on something, I forget, Bay of Pigs or the atomic bomb, but basically they knew that within the next day or two, if things didn't go right, that might be it, nuclear fallout or whatever. And they were given a chance to make one phone call home to their families. But of course, because it was a top secret project, they weren't allowed to say anything about what was going on. So this got me to thinking, if you only had 5 minutes to talk to somebody, anybody left in this world, what would you say? And I think that's kind of a good thought to begin with. So yeah, you should all play along at home, but I am going to do that now. So hitting the stopwatch on my iPhone, the very first thing I want to say is to my lovely children that I love you all very much, unconditionally. And that unconditionally is really important because I think lots of people go through this world thinking that their parents only would love them if they graduated from college or went to the Olympics or became a physician or whatever it is. And I think often people think that mistakenly. So I just want you to know, coming from me, beyond a shadow of doubt, I love you all very much without reservation. That doesn't mean I never have been or will be disappointed in you. For example, if Julia decides to drop out of college and make herself a mail order bride and marry some 70-year-old French billionaire, I will be very disappointed in her. Julia, don't do that. Stay in college. Don't marry 70-year-olds. That's just like creepy. Unless you're 65, in which case it's cool. And anyway, I only have 4 minutes left. So the other thing I wanted my children to know is that all of you are my favorite. Every one of you are my favorite. And I know that sometimes you'll say, oh, Rhonda's the favorite because she does judo, or Maria's the favorite because she's CEO of your company, or Jen's the favorite because she's a teacher, or Julie's the favorite because she's a baby. None of that is true. All of you are my favorite. I love every one of you every bit. To say which one do you like best, it's kind of like saying, well, which of your limbs would you like to do without? And I can hear you right now, Rhonda, saying, well, I'm left-handed, so actually my left arm would be... No, no. You are all my favorite equally. And again, I see people have lives that could be less than they were because they feel like mom always liked you best or dad always liked you best. And no, you're all my favorite. So that out of the way, life advice. The most important thing that I think you could do is marry somebody who has your back. If you're with someone who is in competition with you, whether over who wins the most medals or is the most famous or makes the most money, run like a scared little bunny. That is never going to work. You should be with somebody who is always on your side. That doesn't mean they always agree with you. Same as with you guys. I mean, whether you know it or not, I have always been on your side and always want the best for you. But sometimes we disagree. One of the best things I did was marry Dennis because he's always on my side no matter what. And no matter what crazy thing I want to do, he will encourage me to do it if he knows it's something I really want and would make me happy. Rhonda and Jen, the same thing when I married your dad. I mean, he was older and he was not Catholic, and a lot of reasons that people said that we shouldn't get married. It's never a mistake to marry the person you love, even if you regret it later. It was actually Agatha Christie that said that, but it's still true. So let's see, we've covered children, love, also have children. I can't speak for everyone, but for me personally, having children has been unequivocally more worth than it was trouble. Work, speaking of work, do something that you want to do. Do something that when you wake up in the morning, you look forward to doing it. Don't expect that that's necessarily going to be your first opportunity right out of the box. I mean, I had a lot of the crummy jobs working in washing dishes, waiting tables, or working in retail. So expect that you may well have to work your way up, but what your goal should be is not making the most money. It's not buying a lot of crap you don't need to impress people that you don't like at a job that you can't stand. You should be doing something that makes you look forward to Monday. Other sage advice: dance with them what brung you. Remember the people who were there your whole life. Your sisters, stick with each other. I have gotten busy a lot in my life, and so I don't always talk to my brother and sister all the time, but I still, at least every few weeks, talk to both of them. Obviously, I don't talk to my other two brothers because they're dead. Stay away from drugs. Speaking of dead, there's just no good payoff in it. And I'm not saying that you're going to hell if you smoke pot every now and then, but painkillers, heroin, cocaine. Cocaine is God's way of saying you have too much money. So live where you would like to live. I don't see any advantage in being somewhere that pays you a lot of money and you hate living in that place. North Dakota, I'm looking at you. Nice people, but 40 below will kill you. And that's it. 5 minutes. Love you, kids. Love you, Dennis. Bye.